show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
Good evening. My name is Helix. Tonight, I will be your raconteur of despair. Welcome to the grind. The descent into madness and despair is often left and paved by the absence of choices, or the illusion of said choices. In those moments, some might say it would define our character or build it. Others might say it reveals the nature of who we truly are. And when you've spent a lifetime making choices that lead you down a path that makes you a monster, those choices become like breathing air, because choices form habits, and habits form character. I speak of this tonight because the consequences of those choices will inevitably come full circle. And when you've spent a lifetime being a monster, what kind of choice will you make when you're faced with one that's more terrifying than you could ever imagine? We begin our story tonight a day later from the meeting that took place at Pantheon United, which was December 15th, I do recall, 2019. It is about 9 p.m. and the factory is not as busy as it usually is. The individuals in question agreed to meet up and go somewhere safe to plan. We will begin our scene here. Outside of the Pantheon United. The individuals arrive in their respective cars. The night sky is blacked out with an overcast of snow. And there is a light crunch on the ground as the air is crisp and cold. Scene is yours.
Should have grabbed my jacket.
No, I love when it gets to this time of year. Reminds me of my birth nation. Makes me feel a bit sick sometimes. Almost.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a short, waist-length, very fashionable fur coat, and I just kind of sort of pull it in tighter and try to bundle up against the frigid air.
So, the night is young. So are we. Shall we get to proceedings?
Yeah. Y'all can come in if you want, but I doubt you want to. We can take one of the cars here. This one's the one I usually use. If you'd like to go somewhere else. Use our carpool, but
Anywhere warm would be great.
well, here, just pop in my car.
I will pop on in.
I call shotgun.
It's one of the black SUVs, tinted windows. It looks like all the other ones. But it's warm. The seats are leather and they're heated. And I'll turn them on, so we're all toasty.
I'll sit in the second row, kind of in the middle of their two front seats.
Okay.
You guys mind if I smoke? I'll crack the window.
No, go ahead. Does anyone want Skittles? I brought some.
I'll take one.
It says to share on the pocket, so might as well.
Do me a
I
favor
don't
and
have much of a sweet tooth.
describe that vehicle once again, please.
Black SUV, tinted windows, probably 4 with room for 2 extra in the back if we got creative. Leather seats, heated interior.
Okay, continue.
Okay. I would want a vanity plate, but Uncle said no. Has to be like all the others. I've got my cigarette hanging out the window. Okay, so, anybody figure anything out in the last day? Get anything from work?
Should I roll to see if I've discovered anything?
What would you have done to discover?
I feel like maybe I would talk to some of my clients that I do dances for. I'm not 100% sure it would be safe to bring up such a sensitive topic with the bartender himself.
That's up to you.
So yeah, just talking to clients, just having casual dancer client chit chat.
Okay. Yes, you can roll.
Am I rolling my identity or am I rolling a skill?
Identity.
16 versus 30.
Okay. What information are you looking for specifically?
The exact location of the library, number one. Number two, any useful information on the librarian that anybody would be willing to give up.
The location is easy. You can find it in any phone book or Google search. It's called the Logos Minerva. What you find is that he is possibly the oldest living being in existence. And he openly accepts anyone to enter his domain and fears no one. And he only parts with anything he has with equal or greater value. And he trades in knowledge and artifacts. Artifacts of power, specifically. One thing you do know is the location to get to his sanctum is somewhere beneath or within the library. But the location, the access point is hidden somewhere in the library. It's been so much time since anyone has been down there, you do not get the information that of where that access point would be, how to get to it.
But you said it's underneath the library, right?
They said it's either underneath or within, hidden. They're not sure. It's been a long, long time since anyone has actually seen this person. But they know for sure he's still there.
And I go ahead and relay all of this information to my colleagues and explain to them what I found out.
Are you doing this openly in the car?
Let's see.
Also,
I
I'm just sitting in the car. We're going somewhere.
I tell them in the car with what I think are almost all of the windows rolled up, but I do it in a nice sort of inside hushed voice.
I've just got the window cracked about yay much.
Okay. Where
The
are my dice?
oldest.
Continue.
Well, if we don't, where something is, you know, I'm very good at learning where things are. Is there any way I can help there?
Did you
Were you
guys do
able to
any
find
recon at
anything
all
out?
in your downtime?
Oh, also, do you want a random handful of skittles, or do you want me to pick you out a bunch of red ones again?
Red one.
No.
Thank you.
Well, can I roll to see if I was able to do any meaningful readings in the past while?
Yes. Is this just a standard reading, or are you casting a spell?
Standard readings for now.
Okay. You will roll that identity still. Because this will constitute as gutter magic.
Hey.
5 versus 17.
How many cards?
5.
5 again. Okay. What's the question?
Information on Logos Minerva and or Octavius.
Okay. One, two, three. Seven of Swords. Queen of Pentacles. The Judgment card. The King of Pentacles. And the Tower.
Okay.
In addition to the meaning of these cards, you are flooded with the impression that you are storming a castle. But more importantly, You are unleashing Pandora's box.
Well, again, in hushed inside voices, I guess I would sort of quietly relay this to the others. He'll definitely be no easy defeat, and considering what he's like and what little information we know of him and where he works and how old he is, it might be more practical to keep him in the ring for a while. Seems like quite a useful source of information.
You're gonna have to speak up just a little bit more.
Oh, sorry, fair enough. And considering what I'm getting from the cards and what little else we know of him, he will not be an easy opponent whatsoever, nor will finding him be within the library. Probably more useful as information first if we do find him. Considering how old he is.
3-on-1 though. At least we've got numbers.
We also have your boss, I say to Eve.
Yeah. About that, I would have asked for any further information. Can I roll to see what I received?
Roll connect.
Okay. Oof. Do I have anything that substitutes for connect? Can I roll my relationship to him?
Which one's higher?
My relationship. I have him listed as favorite.
Okay.
$33 versus $80.
What did you ask?
If he knew specifically where he hid.
He tells you it's up to you to find. That's part of the task.
Okay.
But you know it's behind, he tells you it's behind a wall.
Okay. Did you get my other message regarding interim activities?
No,
Sent it on Facebook.
my phone is dead.
Oh, okay. I'll copy it over to the
Oh,
other.
I've just messaged you there.
1 second. I will open that up. 1 second.
Okay. Is there a way to like private message through Roll20? Because I know there's a
I
way to
think you can
privately
whisper
roll.
to the GM.
Stream will see it.
I think you can whisper
Oh.
messages to the GM. Yeah, stream will see that.
No, stream, you can't know my plans.
Okay, I got your message.
I get the feeling that we're going to be dealing with something more magically hidden rather than. I mean, I could be wrong, but I do know that supposedly the entrance to wherever he's hiding is behind a wall. So, I don't know. I haven't actually set foot in the place. It's got a fuck ton of walls, though, from the looks of it. I mean, people go into libraries all the time. I still stand by the go in and look around. I think we'd get more than just sitting here, but it's up to you, ladies. What are our thoughts?
Well, if we want an audience with him, and I point to her necklace and I say, we're probably going to have to pay for it with your little charm there.
I mean, dead men don't own things for very long, so that's fine.
Correct me if I'm wrong, did I tell you there was a charge in it or not?
You did not. I don't recall you telling me if there is one. I don't think there is one.
Would you like me to roll or should I? Or would you like to roll or should I? Okay. Pick a number.
Between
1 and 100.
42.
Wow. I rolled a 42.
Okay.
Hashtag haunted.
Haunted game.
There is a charge. Have you shown this necklace?
I mean, I wear it, but I don't show it off. Like, it's always on me, but I don't say, hey, look.
It's always glowing, too. Brightly.
Probably tuck it under my shirt then.
Like overpowered Tony Stark.
Yeah, we'll just tuck that down there.
Does have a major charge in it.
I think he'll be more than a little interested in what we've got to show him. Once, once he gets a look at this, he's gonna want to see.
When you take it out, it's... It literally lights up the whole car. Good thing the windows are tinted.
He'll want to take a look at that,
Next, I think we need a cover story. Why are we coming to him with this artifact? What do we tell him that we want from him?
I mean, information about your aunt's little club isn't exactly common. Tell them we're looking
the other
for info
target?
about that.
Who's the other target Cinderman asked us about?
Sandman.
We could ask for information on them.
This one thinks.
It might be good to give him an option. Let him know what we want information on, and let him decide what he wants to divulge to us. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe he'll think that the artifact we have to give him is valuable enough that he'll spill the beans on everything.
I'm not giving this to
No.
him.
Feel free to
Consider it a
poo-poo my
loan,
idea. Feel free to
because
poo-poo
you'll
my
obviously get
idea.
it back when he's dead.
Feel free to poo-poo my idea if it seems silly, but would knowledge of fate be of any consequence to him?
Everybody wants to know if they're gonna die.
Considering
I
how long
imagine
he's
you're
lived,
running
I
around for
reckon
3,000 years, you know? You might want to know.
knowledge outside of what is physically available to him in the form of artifacts or first-hand knowledge. Things that have been that he does not know about, or things that might come to pass that he can easily work around.
I can't help but wonder, though, if he doesn't already have a fortune-telling artifact or several that put your cards to shame. No offense, I understand you're powerful, but
This much is true, but we can always ask. Fair enough not to make that our plan A, though.
definitely a solid plan B.
All right.
So we go to
But
him,
if you're
we
next,
offer him the artifact, and we ask for information. Is the Sandman our top priority?
I mean, that's the only acceptable alternative that Uncle gave us. So either we
Well,
take out Octavius or we...
how about this? We ask for information on the Sandman, and if he doesn't budge or if he doesn't bite, I slide up the sleeve of my fur coat just enough to show my tattoo, and I say, and then I ask him about if he doesn't have information on the Sandman or if he doesn't want to divulge. I ask him for information on how to break free from this little family curse of mine, and we'll see if he jumps at that.
Very smart. We gotta find him first. But assuming we can do that, and assuming we can talk to him, what happens if he doesn't like what we're saying and things get sticky?
well, furthermore, if he does have some form of knowledge gaining artifact that's more powerful than anything I can dredge up, he'll probably already know why we are actually there.
I mean, I've got some tricks I'm not incredibly worried about him figuring out, but he's a smart guy. He's been around a long time. If we get in a fight, can I count on you to fight with me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Of course, dear.
Then I'm all in.
So when do you ladies want to do this?
No time like the present, right?
Better to get over with sooner than later, I guess.
Yeah, we do have a limited window to work within, don't we?
If we take too much time to prepare, he'll know we're coming, and that's not going to end well for us.
Well, I'll drive if you like. Save the gas, I guess.
As long as you can keep your road rage at bay, then absolutely.
Well, that depends on if knucklefucks decide to cut me off in traffic. And with that, I'm just gonna start up the car and put it into drive and take off.
Okay.
I'll plug in Logos Minerva and the GPS that's in the console.
It's about a 20-minute drive in the night traffic. The drive there in the night, passing by the lit up buildings, blackened alleyways. You get a sense that you're definitely heading towards something big. You're not sure what that would be. You're not sure if it's to your doom or something other. But the anticipation and anxiety builds as you head to the library. Now, do you wish to speak as you are driving? Anyone?
Eve, do you want me to just put your Skittles in the cup holder?
Not here. I'll toss my cigarette butt out the window, switch hands, so I'm driving with my left and hold my right out.
Also, do you want tortilla chips? I got those as well.
No thanks. Just the sweets.
None for me.
I mean, if you had like guac or queso, we'd be talking, but nah, not just dry.
No liquids in the car, that makes a mess.
Well, you're eating chips in my car.
Yes, but crumbs can be hoovered, whereas stains stay forever.
I'll get one of the guys to detail it. I have a bottle of, yeah.
Tripper, what is your demeanor?
I'm just riding along calmly, quietly, just kind of taking in the scenery out the window, taking in their little banter about chips and Skittles, and a little worried about
Make a
how
notice
this
check.
Lorelei, what sort of food do you like?
58 versus 40. Sorry, what was that?
What sort of food do you like? I'll bring different snacks for you next time.
You know, I'm on more of a liquid diet.
Oh, right, okay. No liquids in the car, though.
I mean, if you put it in a cup, that's fine. I don't mind.
When is the last time I fed?
On me.
That was out of character, sorry.
Did you feed after the meeting? It's been 2 days.
I would imagine that I was probably working right before I came to see them, and I would probably have a cuppa at the bar before leaving the club.
Okay. Did you get one on the way out tonight?
I think I would probably, just in preparation for seeing my mortal friends, probably drink an extra large glass right before I left.
Okay. Then yes, you're fine. You all arrive at a blackened stone, gray library. Very large. It's extremely neoclassical on the outside. It's like the size of a monument. Like it spans incredibly wide. It might as well be its own university. But you're at the front in the parking lot. It's open 24/7. Not too many people come in here. It's a library. Nobody really cares about books these days.
Seems like quite a big place for what is supposedly a dying institution. Wonder how they get their funding.
I bet Unc helped build this.
Is there anything you didn't help build?
I don't think so.
Does he know if it has any structural weaknesses?
That's part of the game. Can't tell us that. But he did tell me it's behind a wall. He gave me a hint. I don't think he meant an outside wall. That would be dumb. I guess we gotta go in and start knocking on walls unless you can shuffle that deck and it can divining rod us towards a wall.
Well, parking lot isn't the most hospitable of places, nor is a car, but I can certainly give it a try.
I mean, it's a big building and it's an empty parking lot. So I think if we go inside, we'll be alone unless we find somebody.
I don't know.
But
Something
I
tells me.
mean, yeah, it is enemy turf.
Something tells me, though, that this is not the same as, but it would be akin to me trying to do it in the Babylon Club, and that it might be a bit strangely influenced. This place does indeed house a being as powerful as he seems to be. I would imagine he has fail-safes against the kind of heroes we have.
He's cocky enough to give out his full name and he hides in plain sight in this giant building. I don't know how many defenses he might put up, really.
I mean, we also have names, and we're in the even more vulnerable position of just sitting in a car.
Well, guess there's only one way to do it. I'm gonna open the car door and start to step out. Come on.
Cold air brushes into the car. Crunch
Okay,
of the snow as you land on the parking lot.
Woo. I'm getting inside. It's too cold, guys. Come on.
I follow suit.
The large doors, glass, open up. It's a pretty large stairway to get to the front door. But you open up into the foyer. You don't see anybody there at the front desk. But when you walk a little bit further, you see a woman with her head down, completely asleep on the front desk.
I delicately try to wake her up.
I just kind of stand back and nothing. Arms crossed. I don't know.
There we go. Sorry. OBS. It's silent in here. But when you step in, 2 stories of books, about 20 feet high, stacked on top of each other. The shelves are all wooden and rimmed in archways. The roof is arched in the center column that leads down these pathways, these very large halls of rows and rows of books.
Oh, certainly is atmospheric.
Hmm.
So now what? Just knock on every wall until one of them answers.
Did the woman at the desk not wake up?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
In that case, I want to use Lick Minor Inform.
On?
On
I'm
the
sorry.
sleeping librarian.
Did you try to wake her up?
I tried to gently wake her up.
She's passed out. She's exhausted.
Okay, then I want to lick her face and see if I can gain any information using my Lick Minor Inform spell.
Roll.
I'm rolling my Skinamancer identity, right?
Yes.
Okay. 94 versus 45.
So describe and roleplay out how this fails and looks how it looks.
I walk up to the sleeping librarian. I kind of brush the hair of her face aside until I can expose like a good swath of like forehead or like the side of her cheek or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I lean in slowly, quietly, and I'm just like, and you immediately see me kind of like retch back and like sputter and kind of spit a little bit. And I just have this look on my face like I just tasted the most bitter, most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life. And I look to the other girls. I'm like, either her skin routine is terrible or she has some sort of protection charms on her.
Hey. Wow.
I'm gonna go see if there's a water fountain so that I can get the sleeping lady a cup of water or something. Just be nice.
I'm just gonna walk with Morgan away from the sleeping lady and to the water fountain.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and join them, since apparently we're not getting anywhere with the sleeping librarian.
Yeah, she's loose clothing, long dress, black hair, rather young. I'd say maybe mid-20s. Kind of hippie goth. Totally exhausted. You make your way to the fountain.
Was there a name? Was there a name plaque on the desk?
Any what?
Was there a name plaque on the desk?
No. It just said reception.
While we're walking, I want to maybe briefly shift into my predatory sight to see if I notice anything that isn't necessarily visible to the naked eye, as far as like secret rooms, secret passages, all that goes.
Roll.
What am I rolling?
That identity. That would be your
Yes. Vampire. Yes.
yeah.
Okay. And as I slip into predator sight, I kind of transform and my eyes go black and little dark veins start kind of emanating out from around my eyes. And I'm just looking around and trying to pay attention, trying to notice something about our surroundings that maybe isn't immediately visible. 86 versus 30.
You reveal this to them walking around, and everyone, well, you would react accordingly. What are your unnatural notches? Hellraiser and Thief.
I have 2 notches in unnatural.
Ooh. And Thief?
I have 6.
Hellraiser has to roll.
Okay. And are you attacking unnatural so I defend with knowledge?
Yep.
Okay. Defend with knowledge. I have an identity that substitutes for knowledge, but actually my knowledge is higher, so I'm going to roll that instead. 22 v55.
You can mark a hardened, and you get the choice of how you wish to react, but this is extremely unsettling as it catches you off guard. When you're looking around, you just see, as you turn your head, her just with these black onyx eyes and black veins, just literally looking around like a predator. Like the head even moves like a snake.
Jesus, fuck, you look like a horror movie. Can you calm down? If somebody sees that, they're gonna freak the fuck out. At least stand behind me. God. Creeping me
And
out.
once it doesn't yield any useful information, I kind of shake it off and blink it away.
It actually does.
Oh, it does.
Yes. You do see correct me if I'm wrong, you were able to see heat signatures and
Yes.
enhanced darkness.
Yes.
Was there anything else to that?
Let me read the thingy. Anything with a heartbeat to you with a soft red glow and the radiant heat their blood gives off.
That's it?
Well, there's also a thing below that about how I have heightened sense of sight, sound, smell, taste to an insane degree. But that's like more with like personally interacting with people.
Okay. So with heat, specifically, all of the lighting is lit by candlelight. There is no electricity in this library. So you immediately notice, you didn't notice before because you don't really pay attention to the lights when you walk into a place, but you see the heat radiate and you turn your head and you notice all of the lights are candles. And then you look around, there's no electricity here. And now that you think about it, there was no computer at the desk. And what strikes you even more is the heat you wouldn't normally see with the naked eye, but there are runes all over the walls that heat this cold stone. Well, it doesn't, the stone is cold, but the runes are very bright red. And it's everywhere.
I think this guy is afraid of electricity. There isn't a single ohm or amp or kilowatt of electric current running through this entire gigantic building.
Really? I'm gonna check my phone and see if it works.
It's a brick.
What the hell? Won't even turn on. Oh, that's bullshit.
Shit, I would have brought my taser if I'd known this.
Well,
Your
it's fine.
taser might work. It would also be a brick.
Well, that sucks.
If it has its own independent battery source, I think it might.
Well, so do phones.
A lot of the buildings that Uncle built, he put, I mean, he did a lot of the custom work. He probably put custom shit on it.
Well, then why did he not tell you about this?
Because it's part of the game. It's part of the test. He's testing us to make sure we're good enough to figure it out. We deserve a seat.
He sounds like the Old Testament summed up, basically.
Well, you met him. In any case,
Well, what now?
Well, as soon as I find out that information, I kind of blink away the predator sense and move my face back to normal just in case we run into any civilians or strangers or whoever.
Yeah. Still
Well,
haven't
at the very
ran into
least now we
anybody.
know that. At the very least we now know that no security cameras could be active in order to pick up what you just did.
Then let's go exploring.
After you.
I want to walk over to a wall that has a source of heat behind it And is there any particular heat source that stands out as different from the others, or are they all pretty much uniform?
All the stone is cold, except for when you would rub your hand where a rune would be. There's just like a tiny faint heat spot.
So there are runes in the wall that are giving off heat.
Yes. All over.
Built-in
Ceiling,
temperature control.
ceiling, the floor. It doesn't heat the building, but they do have the runes do have a heat signature. It's just not enough to heat this thick stone. It's probably 4-5 feet thick bricks.
Could I roll to see if I notice anything special about these runes, like who might have cast them, if there's any special meaning to them, or...
Do you have any occult identity?
I mean, vampire, maybe.
No. You can roll knowledge.
Okay, let's see if I get lucky. 71 versus 45.
Never seen this before.
You said the walls are made of brick, right?
It is extremely large brick, like Olympian size Roman type bricks. They're about, I would say, 8 to 10 feet long and 4 to 5 feet high. You don't know how thick.
Okay, I am going to just set my hand against one of the bricks and cast Your Eyes Will Stud My Crown. And I know that my uncle built these, and so he probably touched them, and I want to try and see what he saw as he was building it. See what he would see like a blueprint. Or attempt to.
Okay. Hmm. Roll.
Okay.
Send me that spell, by the way.
Yeah. That's a 1.
Fuck. Send me the spell.
Okay. I'm copying and pasting it right now. Oh, well, damn it. Come on.
I want to make sure I specifically get this right.
Yep, there you go. And I specifically did the big kid version. Bless.
Wow. Okay. Okay. You watch her place her hand on the stone, and you see this blood mist just form around her eyes, and her eyes begin to bleed black. And then you hear whispers all around Stripper and Fortune Thief. They're in your ears. You hear like people being tortured. You hear construction. You hear decades of tyranny and war. And you watch as the skin on her begins to slice open in little spots. It doesn't bleed, but each cut looks black. And the stone begins to infuse with this black ripple of veins. And then you see tiny slices just scratch into the stone like little patterns. And to anyone who would see magical aura, they would see a cloud of blades encircle the Hellraiser. You find within the stone a connection to the Cinder Man. However, the connection is stronger than you ever wanted it to be. Rushing into your mind is centuries of who this man is. Things he's done. People he's killed. Armies he's destroyed. Nations he's built. And in this moment, you find the time in history in which this place is built. And you see it built before your eyes like a labyrinth being raised out of the earth. You see the passageways, the hallways being built brick by brick. You see the people that did not measure up to the task and were executed in front of the other workers as an example, to work harder, to work faster, to get it done. You see the joy when he looks upon the fear in the other's eyes and inspires them to work harder. And you see the smile in the executioner's eyes as they are being loyal puppets to serve his will. And you sense the emotion of this man who has literally none for this building. It is simply like breathing air to him. He has no love for it. He has no hate for it. It is simply an extension of his will as it is raised and built. And when you disconnect from this wall, he lingers in your mind.
Mm. 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 I can see all of it. Oh my god.
What is it? What do you see?
So many people. So, so many.
She's still bleeding. Her eyes are flushed with blood.
I
Do
reach
you need a
into
glass
my
of
coat
water?
pocket and hand her a white linen handkerchief.
Oh, oh, thanks. What am I? Mm.
Sweeney, you're a mess.
Oh,
You don't see anything.
what are you talking about? There's nothing on here. There's, there's nothing, see? Nada. Zip zilch.
I'm gonna gently take the handkerchief out of her hand and try to clean up her face for myself.
Okay.
Because I'm guessing I still see it, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Could you warn us before you do something like that, please? It always spooks
Hold
me.
This is my eyeliner. Probably. That's all.
Okay, you're somewhat more presentable now.
I saw it being built. This place, this maze.
Did you see the wall?
Yeah.
Take us there.
Do you have any history knowledge in your background, Hellraiser?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Maybe some magical history, but general history, no.
You can go ahead and roll knowledge if you would like to get a
Okay.
small tidbit.
Why not? 40 versus 55.
The story of the Minotaur and Labyrinth echoes in your mind. His personality still clings to you like oil in your lungs. And you feel that insidious type of just general hatred and tyranny and depression. But the story of the Minotaur and the Labyrinth, it keeps repeating in your head. You know that it's something to do historically, maybe around the Greek times, Roman times. There was a particular building that was built at one time that was like a labyrinth. It's the name's on the tip of your tongue. But you're sure you could find it in any history book. But you get the feeling you built that. And you also, with that one, get to see a particular piece in history where the original Pantheon that was built was not built by the person who was historically known to build it. It was built by you. You were the one in the background telling the people what to do, how to build it. One of the strongest
Hurry up.
and oldest structures, and to hurry up.
Yeah. I did that. I remember.
You did what?
What? Nothing. Just. That took a lot out of me.
You looked like you were having a bit of a moment there. What all did you see?
Well, Unc built this place. Figured he might have a magical connection to it. So I tried to take a peek.
Looks like you got a lot more than a peek.
Got a good hard look. This way.
Lead on.
You know that the entrance is actually in the men's restroom.
I'm going to walk right for the door and not even look in, say hey, just walk inside and expect to be followed.
I'm right behind her.
Likewise.
It's this wall. There's
You
a
know
path.
there's a mechanism.
There's a path somewhere. There's some kind of mechanism. There's got to be a switch, a lever, something. I'm assuming there aren't mechanical hand dryers for obvious reasons.
Candles lit in here too.
Oh, well then I'm just gonna start tugging some candelabras.
Nope.
A hand? Anyone? I mean, I know that it's in this room, but I don't.
You
I
can
have
all
a spell for this.
I'll start.
you can all
Well, would I see the mechanism being built? Would I have seen that?
no, because it's changed over time.
Oh, okay.
You can all roll notice for investigating.
Yeah, the original passage was different. I don't know, we changed it. Noted.
92 versus 40.
Okay.
29 v 50.
Okay.
Mm, 18 v 35.
There are two handles. When you click them at the same time, they open the door. They were on the urinals, the flushing handles.
Ooh.
When you click one, Doesn't work. You click them both at the same time. It opens the door. Behind the toilet.
There it is. Okay.
Well found, Eve. Well,
And it's a long walk.
Lead the way.
My pleasure. And I'll start a going. Are there light sources in there? If not, I'm gonna grab a candle from.
There are not.
I'm gonna grab one of the candles. Will the candelabra come off the wall, or is it attached?
Candelabra does not come off the wall.
Okay, then I'm just gonna try. Is it like a skinny stick candle?
These, no. They're about 3 to 4 inches thick. They're meant to burn for long periods of time.
Is it stuck in the candelabra, or could I feasibly remove it?
I mean, with a little effort, you can pull it out.
Yeah, I'll give it a little elbow grease.
So you have a candle, and you see the brick change to an older, more type of a sandstone.
I'll grab a candle of my own.
Okay.
likewise.
And I'll be right behind Eve.
The height of the ceiling immediately changes when you step into this hallway. It's rather narrow. It's about 4 to 5 feet wide, but 15, 20 feet tall, maybe. And you make your way down this hallway. It's long, it's quiet, and it's very dark. You go long enough to where you do not see the light from the previous room that you left, and you are left in complete darkness. And just when you think you've gone the wrong way, or maybe this doesn't lead where you think it leads, you see an archway. And it has what looks like Latin written on it.
Hey, Morbin, you make any sense of that? Do cards, they have Latin something?
They often have Roman numerals, but you can get cards in all languages.
I feel like maybe based on how old I am, maybe I had Latin classes in school.
Sure, roll knowledge. Especially in this city.
10 versus 45.
The Library of New Alexandria.
I tell them that.
That sounds like a sanctum to me. I think we found our spot, ladies. Okay. We all ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
For you.
You walk about 5 more minutes into darkness. Until the glitter at the end of the hall. Something golden. Something sparkly. Something tall catches your eye in the candlelight. You make your way forward and you see what looks like a dark, blackened metal door with a golden, elaborate tree structure on it.
Huh, fancy.
It's a double door. Opens from the middle.
Did the Cinderman build this as well?
There's no way anybody else could have.
Impressive.
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna assume I recognize that tree symbol.
Roll knowledge.
22 versus 45.
It feels important. It feels very significant. It's almost like it feels like it's in your blood. Or bloodline.
I look at the tree symbol and I kind of flinch in a bad way and just kind of glare at the door a little bit.
Do you have a phobia of trees, dearie?
I don't think that's any ordinary tree. Normal ones don't usually get gold.
I glare at the door and I kind of absent-mindedly rub my hand on the tattoo on my forearm, and I just keep glaring at that tree.
Have you two?
Old family ties?
Yeah, something like that.
All the more reason to be here.
And all the more reason to bust this door down, which I do have a spell for out of character.
I don't think that'll be necessary. I'm just gonna push on it.
Roll fitness.
Okay.
Pretty heavy door.
22 versus 30.
As you push, you are all pierced sharply by the bright light that cracks through, and the door creaks open. A very well lit room. Lots of candles. You walk in, and you see this circular room, 3 stories of books, all encompassed. And there is a very elaborate golden tree structure in the stone floor. Across from you sits at a very large stone altar-like desk, books piled everywhere. And behind him is a very elaborate vault door, but you do see an ancient old man standing there staring at you.
Greetings.
Hello.
Would you be Octavius?
That I am.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. And who are you?
I'm Combs. These are my friends, if they would care to introduce themselves.
You're who?
Combs.
You can call me Lori.
They call me Hellraiser.
Very well. What is it that you want?
Information on a variety of things.
This is the sanctum of knowledge. Information is here. What do you seek?
What do you want to start with? There were a few things we had on the agenda, weren't there?
I believe we discussed that the Sandman was a top priority for us.
Indeed.
And what do you wish to know?
As much as we can.
That will depend on how much you have to trade.
I look poignantly at the Hellraiser, and I kind of nod.
I'll take out my insanely bright necklace. Well, I have this artifact you may be interested in. I heard that you like shiny trinkets.
I trade in artifacts of power, not shiny trinkets.
Well, this has a lot of power in it. You
I can see.
that from there, though.
Yes.
So, kind of information is that worth?
He thinks for a moment. A significant amount.
Is significant everything you know?
No.
So you know more.
Of course.
So what would it take for us to know all you know about the Sandman?
It will take that artifact and something more.
Are we talking double? Are we talking a cherry on top?
Or a favor.
What favor do you offer?
Name your price. And as he's thinking, I slide up my sleeve a little bit to reveal the tattoo on my arm. And I say, as you can see, I'm well connected.
Yes, I can see. Not as connected as you should be.
Maybe that's something you can help me with.
Perhaps. Yes.
Do you guys have family tree branches that... Maybe?
I'm afraid you will have to elaborate. What are you talking about?
Your tree. Her tree. They look real similar.
You have a tree? What is she talking about?
She's talking about Ophion.
Yes. What about it?
What's a friend in common? Friend of a friend and all is my friend.
If you say so.
I like him. Gives me my way. It's a shame though.
So do you have anything else to offer? Other than a favor?
I can extend my pinky nail a few inches and show him sort of what, just like a little taste of what I really am, and kind of wiggle it in front of him and be like, I can live without the snail if it's something that appeals to you.
You see he's pondering it. He's not taken a single step, by the way.
I'll take a step in.
He's not changed his posture. He really genuinely only moves his head.
Are there other places to sit nearby?
You do see, like, maybe little stone stools. I'm afraid that the artifacts of a Strigoi will require something more significant than a nail.
Source of information. You know lots, don't you? I'm just gonna kind of casually saunter in towards the center.
However, you do have my interest. I will accept the seedling spawn of the Strigoi and the artifact.
Well, we've shown you ours. The least you could do is give us a taste.
No.
I'm not handing over anything until you prove to me you've got at least some good info. Actionable info.
Eve, we are in his house. We are guests here.
Your belief in my
That's fair.
credibility is none of my concern.
It would take time for me to procure a seedling spawn.
Memory serves, it should take only an hour. Assuming you have the proper amount of food.
As long as I have been Strigoi, I have not spawned anybody. Because of the way that I was spawned. I swore I'd never do that to anyone who was unwilling. And finding someone willing is quite a task.
I do not need a body. I need the essence. You know that what he's asking for is basically it's equivalent to like a bowl full of maggots or white worms or like a sperm donation. It's when Strigoi spawn, it's thousands of them, but it's all injected into a single body, and then they fuse and bind into one being. But if they are left to a essence, they will stay in an essence until they are put into a person. So you could potentially split them off and make as many as you like with just one bowl.
I didn't bring a vessel. If all you want is the pure essence, then I need a vessel of some sort.
You see him glance, just with his eyes, just one glance over, and then you see a very large, ornate, and like metal encapsulated glass jar just slide across the floor to your feet.
I grab the jar.
Handy trick.
And I go find a quiet area of the room away from everyone else, and I sit down in a chair.
It's a one circle room.
Oh, okay. I go find somewhere to sit, and I put the jar in front of me on the floor, and I just sort of sit, and I look as though I'm in some sort of very focused, meditative state as I'm conjuring up this essence within me, and I'm not sure how long it takes, but eventually, once it is conjured up and ready to expel, my posture and movements kind of take on like a cat that's coughing up a hairball, and I just sort of start like undulating and moving and making strange guttural noises, and eventually I puke up this writhing mass of these long, they move like worms, but they look like tiny little mushroom heads with long snaky tendrils, and I just essentially just puke them up into this glass jar.
We see her jaw slightly split open, and this long circular teeth type tendril come out and just regurgitate this into the jar. She looks like a monster, and both of you have to roll because this is an attack on your unnatural.
Way grosser than any usual methods of reproduction, which are already gross to start with. Attack on unnatural, defends with knowledge. Oof, 85 versus 55.
Okay.
Oh, 86 versus 40.
You have 3 choices: fight, flee, or freeze, as this is a failed on your unnatural.
I'm gonna freeze and just stare, unable to take my eyes away from the writhing masses, and I can't find a center to it because it just keeps moving. All of it just keeps moving inside the container. And I can't move. It's like it's stolen all my ability to move by all of it moving too much. Uh, oh, 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 oh. That is. I don't think I'll be able to watch it work anymore.
It's moving.
Oh, God. Huh. Oh.
As it begins to even more come out. Like that was the initial part that fills the bottom of the jar, but then it gets louder and louder and louder, and it just goes into the jar, fills it up.
Brown soda, Skittles, red Skittles.
What was your choice, Morven?
This is wrong on multiple levels. I am not the biggest fan of
Fight, flee, or
incestuous creatures.
fight, flee, or freeze.
I'm gonna flee. I'm gonna
Okay.
fucking take a few steps back and then turn and fucking run.
Morven bolts.
I wish I could bolt. Ugh.
Yes, it's not a pleasant sight.
God, Warner girl. Ugh, miracle of birth.
You are frozen. You are in abstract terror right now.
It's all inside my head.
Yeah. You finish and
As soon
close
as
the
I'm
jar.
done. As soon as I'm done, I kind of wipe my mouth and pick up the jar and bring it over to him.
On the table is fine. You see there's a little couple of them just left spilled out of the jar on the floor.
I stomp on them just to be safe.
Now.
And then
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then I probably turn and notice that Hellraiser is frozen. And I walk up to her. I grab the necklace from around her neck. And I kind of do that gentle little tug and free the necklace from around her neck. And then I walk back over
grab
to
it if I
this.
can.
You're frozen. You think she's gonna eat you.
And then I bring the necklace over to Octavius, and I put it on the desk right next to my jar of little seedlings.
You notice something interesting. Normally it's like a level, like jar of this spawn worm, white worm type thing. When you put the necklace next to the jar on the table, You watch them kind of like climb up the side of the jar a little bit. And they just, like they try to go for the
I
necklace.
hiss at them in order to get them to behave and settle in the jar.
When you do that, you, Hellraiser, you see like extra teeth just appear and another jaw just appear and split open.
Ah!
Yes, the bargain is made.
So
Ah.
honor your end of the deal. Tell us
Yes.
everything we need to know about the Sandman.
Sandman is the remnants of a war. They are the losers. They are also somewhat of my progeny. I would be called their ancestor. They, in their time, in their prime, were known as Rangers. And they lived in harmony with the fabric of the universe and its natural growth. And by growth, the universe would create itself anew and spawn multiple versions of itself, like the natural branches of a tree. However, centuries, eons, at some point in time, there was a philosophical debate on the order and the nature of existence. Should this chaos be controlled? Should it be allowed to come to pass? Where multiple realities would spawn. This debate ensued for many years, until one day it divided the Rangers. In their division, they became the Rangers of one and the Rangers of many. And then they began their secret war. A war that lasted for hundreds and thousands of years. Eventually, the Rangers of many had lost. Those who were not killed in the war surrendered. And the Rangers of one put them to work in what they were known to be doing naturally, which was keeping the general population in line and knowing that the awakened and the magical could rip reality apart. So, the Rangers of many, what was left, would police magical beings of this world. And they allowed the people who did not know about the mysteries of the universe and all it comes to be, all the magical nightmares. They allowed them to dream. And the awakened went about their way. However, when they stepped out of line, these Sandmen would come to put them back in it. They work on behalf of the dreamers to keep them asleep. The Rangers of One went on to form the Ophion Society. And they would police the last and only timeline of one universe, as they are all now destroyed.
About that. Oh, can I?
Yes.
Not all. Not completely?
Surely you know of the bubble we're in right now.
Ah, you are aware. Yes. This is the spoils of war. This spell or technique was taken from the ranges of many when the war ended, and it is used by the Ophion Society in times of great need to correct and manage the timeline as they see fit. When they have a problem or an event, they will localize and isolate it and create a numerous possibility to change and fix what they see fit.
What they see fit.
You said the Sandmen were your progeny, essentially.
As
You were
well
their
as
ancestor.
as well as the Ophion, yes.
Ophion Society. Does that make you?
I am the immortal secretary. I am the progenitor of knowledge.
He's essentially the father of Ophion.
So, in the war, you must have had an opinion. Which of your children would you have preferred to see win?
Neither.
Not a choice.
The war.
Perpetual war or continual peace?
The war should have never taken place. It was unnecessary. Have you read a Bible?
Not really my genre.
Have you heard a story about fruit from the tree of knowledge?
Yeah. That one I'm familiar with.
I am that tree.
And who was the snake? If there was one.
The snake was a metaphor.
Oh, I just remembered. I'm not here.
Most of the stories there were metaphors. However, quite literal. I am the progenitor of knowledge.
Where did Morven run off to? Did she go all the way down the hall, or did she just hide in a... Well, there are no
How
corners.
far down the hall did you want to run into darkness?
Probably far enough that I would be... Oh, actually, yeah, good question. If I were freaked out that badly on multiple levels, which I was, then I'd probably want to go back to the main entrance area of the library, to be honest.
You make it there.
Go with me. Okay, I'm just sitting there. Should I cover my comm then?
Well, you can do what you wish. If you wish to go back, you can. You've calmed yourself down.
Yeah, okay, I'll start heading back. Didn't hear any of that.
You're hesitant to go back. However, you know what's going on is important. So, and those are people you care about. Back at the conversation.
So the Sandman we're looking for, he's not just a ranger, he's the ranger.
He's one. There are more. Spread out
Does he
all
know
over
of
the
us?
world. Does he what?
Does he have any idea about us, or would we be approaching him with the element of surprise?
They are very cunning, and their job is to be aware. I highly doubt any efforts you embark upon will be a surprise.
Tell us his weakness.
His weakness is what it has always been. Hubris. They assume they know everything and they can do anything.
I know about that
I know
all too well.
actions. DM, I sent you a private message.
As powerful as they are, they can be surprised. However, their predictability is how they lost the war.
There's something to say for being unpredictable.
Speaking of predictable, and I look him dead in the eyes and I ask, Did you know we were coming tonight?
I knew you were here when you arrived.
Do you know why we came?
You come seeking something.
I'm gonna saunter over to the table. Just kind of look at the mess of what's all in the jar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of glance at it. Ugh.
We did come seeking knowledge. That is true.
I'm sure you wanted more. However, this knowledge is something that no one knows. The Ophion remain a mystery. However, their efforts continue to preserve this timeline and this world's existence. The war is already over. There are no more worlds left to preserve except this one.
No more worlds left to preserve, but doesn't mean that more couldn't be created again.
It also doesn't address the fact that this world is threatened by the Ascension.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I said it also doesn't address the fact that this world, the world we're in right now, is threatened by the Ascension.
That would be a 10 and a 6, each versus 75 respectively.
The first one happens, the second one is actually your secrecy.
Oh, okay. Secrecy.
You
attack
are
against
taking
secrecy
a-
or just-
No, it's a skill. You
Okay.
are taking a significant negative shift. Just
I
bear that in
figured.
mind.
I figured. And I don't think there's anything I can do to actually put it in my favor. So there goes nothing. Oof. I don't know if there's anything I can do to rage, noble, fear, obsession to flip those and still would fail. I didn't mean to roll it twice. Roll 20 just did that.
No, you had a 40 shift.
Oof.
But when you do approach, there's a force that stops you when you reach for it. And he's looking directly at you when you're doing it. But he answers the stripper's question. The Ophion are currently, as I can tell, trying to stop an ascension. Yes. However, if they are doing such, it could only mean the clergy has reached its capacity. that, or the ones ascending have broken the natural order.
You mean the order that they decided is natural?
The order that the clergy has set forth. Does that accurately answer your question? He's looking at you, Lorelei.
We're in a little bit of a tough spot right now. We are in negotiations with people who want the ascension to happen, and with people who want to stop it.
I could only assume that if the ascension allows the ones to take place, that would mean the end of this world. The beginning of a new one.
Potentially the beginning of many new ones, if things were to change.
That would depend on what takes place within the clergy.
If, say, all of these people who mass ascended, if they were part of the Rangers of Many, or believed in those ideals, I'd say a new shape to the clergy would definitely shape the new world and worlds that come after it.
Yes, it would.
So does a tree of knowledge prefer a single universe, a singular way, a singular outcome, or infinite universes, infinite outcomes, infinite knowledge? I mean, the choice seems clear to me, but
A tree prefers to grow in whichever way it can, in whatever environment it is provided.
I don't think trees wish for anything, really, except not to be set fire to. Maybe.
Do you spend much time with trees?
Not a ton.
Then how would you
I
know?
used to know a girl named in middle school named Tree, but it was a one-y. It's a stupid name.
Morven, you've made your way back.
Kind of poke my head in the door cautiously, just glancing around to see if it's still happening.
Morven, you're alive. Good. It's over.
Uh,
You're safe. Just don't look in that jar.
Is she okay?
Oh,
Her
she
face
seems
kind of
fine.
stood open.
She seems fine.
I'm okay.
Right.
I'm okay.
Glad to hear that at least.
What else would you like to know?
We need to know how to get out of the little bind we're in.
I would say you need to make a choice.
Mm.
Then I have one more question. If someone had promised us a spot amongst the Ascended, how legitimate would that promise be? Or are they just blowing smoke up their ass in order to get us to do what they want us to do?
Someone with almost as much power as you said that. Someone trusted.
I highly doubt it. Anyway,
I don't.
if the Ophion have saw fit to make an effort to encapsulate and isolate an entire city of what I would assume would be 25 million, then at some point in time, the ascension already took place, or was about to. And then it was halted. So if the people in question claim what they are going to do, I would say they are capable of doing such a thing. Your trust in them will depend on your trust in their character.
I am
Are they true to their
very
word?
familiar.
I recommend assurances. Because you will need them.
I'm not entirely sure we have those assurances yet.
That is for you to decide.
Wasn't aware you were having so many doubts, Lorelai. I mean, you're very strong. Power's useless if you won't do anything with it.
And what do you want me to do with it?
Nothing I can't do by myself. I'd like to use more magic.
Okay?
I would like to cast, oh my gosh. Significant, or play the sycophant. And I'll paste that for you. Oh, God, no. I don't know why it never copies correctly the first time. I have to copy it twice. So that was the old spell. I did not want to cast that again. Yes. That is what I would like.
Okay.
And I'd like to cast that on Octavius. Or attempt to.
Okay. You have a negative 40 shift against you.
Okay. Alright. Here we go. My identity?
Mm-hmm.
98 versus 75. This directly ties into my noble. Can I use it to reroll?
What is your noble?
Loyalty and servitude to my savior.
Okay.
Come on, man. Nope. 87 versus 75.
Describe what you do, and I'll tell you how it plays out.
I just hold my hand out and to Octavius, gesturing casually. Hand me that, will you? And I point to my necklace.
He says, "No," as his eyes grow wider and the room begins to glow. Those runes that Lorelei saw, that now everyone sees. "But hand me that, will you?" As it echoes into your mind and takes control of your fibers of your being. And he points at your knife.
Can't resist. I take it out and I hand it towards him.
You watch as she's shaking.
Bitch.
And he takes it. He stares you down. "It would seem you have made your choice. Now, I will have to make mine."
Before he does that, I hold up my arm.
Nope.
No? Okay.
And now, we will begin combat. However, this is where we are going to pause our story for now. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, someone survives.